Hello, Dan here at Cracking the Whip. Today I want to talk to you about flying solo. So what I'm talking about here obviously is doing it alone, writing by yourself. Don't do it. It's not the best idea. And you might be thinking, Dan, what are you on about? Of course I have to write alone, you're by yourself when you're doing it. What I mean is involve other people in the process. You don't have to do it by yourself, not get any feedback, and just kind of make your way through the woods in the dark alone. You don't have to do that. It's not the best idea. And I know that because that's what I did. For the first few years of writing, I did it by myself. I didn't involve other people. I'd tell people that I was doing it. So I'd tell friends, I'd tell family that I was writing a story, and they were like, cool, that's cool, what's it about? They'd be interested, but they weren't involved in the process. They just knew about it. There's a difference. So the reason that I wish I'd known it earlier is because since then I've involved other people in the process. I've sought feedback from people. I've asked them questions, and my work in progress at the moment, the book I'm currently writing and trying to get finished, I actually wrote at the same time as somebody else who was writing their story, and we did an exchange. So my friend was writing his novel, I was writing my novel. So we kind of committed to do a chapter exchange a week, at least one chapter a week, where we would write the first draft and exchange it, read it, and share feedback. And it's a first draft, so it didn't have to be grammar and the nitpicky stuff that you'd need to get polished before you submitted it to a publisher or an agent. But it was story. It was like, well, I didn't really understand that bit, or I missed your point there, and that bit was really good. I really liked that bit, so you knew which bits to keep. So it was goods and bads, positives and negatives. And it was really valuable because one, you were getting instant feedback that did actually influence the story. And I think that was the same for both of us. I gave him feedback that it changed how he would have done the story based on that feedback, and he did the same for me. He told me one point that I remember on my current work in progress, he told me something that I laughed out loud because I just hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen how obvious and poor and cliche this particular thing was, and that would have stayed in my draft. And if I'd have stayed in the same mindset when editing, it could have remained there, and editors and publishers might have read it and thought, what's this joker about? He's such an amateur, he's a terrible writer. But getting that feedback from somebody else made me see that early. I could change it straight away, or make a note for myself to change it in my edit if I wanted to keep that momentum up. And that was really valuable for both of us. So we were getting the instant feedback, it was influencing the story in the right ways, and it also kept us on track. If there was any potential procrastination or putting things off, you had that in your mind that you didn't want to be the one to not deliver your chapter that week. So you'd sometimes sit down and get the writing done, where if it wasn't for that process, you might not have done. You might have just put Netflix on or whatever it is that you do in your spare time and done whatever. So really useful, and it involves other people. And that isn't the only way you need to involve other people, even if it's having a writing partner, somebody else who you know likes writing. They might not be writing at that same point as you, like my previous example, but if they just know the process, talking through things through with them, it helps. Even if they don't tell you what to do or give you golden egg feedback, the process itself, by talking it out with the writer and getting that engagement, will probably organise things in your own head a lot more and help your work in progress a lot more than it would had you just been flying solo. So like I say, this is what I wish somebody had told me back in the day, because in the first few years of writing I did everything myself. I didn't know what I was doing. There was no one there to tell me what I was doing didn't make sense or didn't sound right, or is there another way you could potentially do that. And I made a lot of mistakes. It took a long time to not get very far. I remember the first work in progress I was doing, I spent the best part of a year just writing it down. I hadn't really plotted out my chapters. I didn't really know where the characters were going. And I remember writing about 300 pages of A4 and stopping and saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where this is going. I was literally 300 pages in and I still didn't know where the story was going. And that's like obviously far too long, and a significant amount needed trimming down there, if not completely rechanging. And how much time did I spend doing that? Whereas if I'd have just had a partner, a writing friend or whatever, just to bounce off, they might have said, well, where is that story going? What does their character end up doing? Do they die? Do they fall in love? What is the ending for them? And if I'd have realised then, I don't know actually, but I hadn't really thought about it. Well, what are you writing it for? What's the point in writing if you have no idea where your characters are going or where your story's going? See, I'm quite annoyed about it already. It was years ago. I'm not telling you how many years, it's embarrassing. A long time ago, and I'm still annoyed about it because it was just dumb writing, and it is what it is. We all start somewhere. We're all new at some point, and you got to make your own way. But I wish somebody had told me much earlier on not to do it by myself, to involve other people as much as possible, to try and avoid some of those mistakes. So that's why I'm telling you guys, just in case you're doing that, just in case you feel like you could potentially do that, don't. Involve other people where you can. Okay, that's all I've got for you this week. I hope that was useful. If you've got anything that you want to share, if you've got any requests for advice on things, if you want help with your work in progress, just put a comment below, get involved, and we'll chat and hopefully help each other out with our respective writing projects. Okay guys, that's all. Have a good one. Adios.